Many of you have been asking me these questions, so I created this video to answer them. How do I run a successful faceless YouTube channel? How much does it make me per month? And how am I doing amidst the ongoing AI slop purge that's happening on YouTube? Well, today we're going to be looking at one of my videos that has over 1 million views, a video that is largely responsible for growing my channel. Maybe you're an aspiring content creator or a seasoned YouTuber, and you've been thinking about creating content in the sleep or wellness niche with the use of AI tools, but you've been feeling uncertain and rightfully concerned about not being able to get monetized. Well, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the analytics, what it actually looks like on the back end, and I'm also going to be getting into how creating high-value, transformative, and human-centered content is a fail-proof way of not only surviving on YouTube, but growing multiple income streams from it. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Natasha. I am a nurse, a mental health clinician, and a digital entrepreneur who has been working in the wellness space for many years as a ghostwriter, researcher, and a voiceover artist. All right, I'm really not trying to make this video too long, so here we are inside of a YouTube studio for my channel. And as you can see, around January of 2022, I actually created this channel and I had uploaded a couple of videos. But I didn't start uploading consistently until December of that year. Then I dropped off for a bit around May because at the time I was working, I was studying, I was doing full-time freelance work. So around August, I decided to start posting more consistently. I still could only pull off maybe 1 or 2 uploads every 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how busy I was. And sometimes, honestly, I posted or uploaded a video once a month. But I was still being quite consistent, as you can see here. And then around July of 2024, my uploads became sparse again, and in fact they just kind of died down altogether because I was working a very demanding job at a prison that required me to use a lot of my free time, or in other words, unpaid overtime, just so I can keep on top of my work. Now the metrics show views by content, and you can see that around December of 2024, one of my videos actually took off. You can see that in the green line here, and then the blue line around, this was I think March of 2025, and although the virality did slow down, as you can see here, it's still growing consistently till this day. Okay, so this is the video I'm talking about that has more than 1 million views. I uploaded it on March 8th of 2025, and honestly, it didn't take too long for the views to skyrocket. I remember getting like 1,000 views in less than 24 hours. And you know, it just really kept growing from there. And as you can see, if I scroll over this container here, it also shows that my usual view count per videos is around 42,000 to 80,000. And it's basically showing that this video in particular is an outlier. But watch time is the metric that actually drives everything on YouTube, not the views, but the watch time. And it's the currency that the algorithm runs on. It's what drives revenue, and it's what signals to YouTube that your content is worth distributing more broadly. All right, let's go into subscribers. So this video alone, as you can see, drove more than 13,000 new subscribers to my channel. And kind of think about what that means for a faceless YouTube channel and all the noise that you're hearing in the content creator community. This is a faceless channel that uses AI generated imagery and animations. So why are people subscribing? You know, isn't all AI content AI slop? No, because the brand and the content itself is converting casual viewers into subscribers because it's offering something that brings value to them. You know, this is really the power of creating high value, human-centered, transformative content that speaks to or solves a person's pain point. In this case, the pain point is insomnia or being unable to sleep. Overthinking before bed, deep inner work that offers a space for self-reflection and relaxation or self-discovery. And here's what you all want to know. How much does a video with 1 million views earn you? Well, this video in particular earned me $11,000 US. Yes, from one video published once, and it really keeps earning every single month. In just a bit, I'm going to be breaking down what actually drives that number. The RPM, the niche, the audience demographics, those all really matter. Because another video could have gotten 1 million views, but never could have amounted to $11,000. Before we move on, you'll see in the real-time panel here, showing over 2,600 views in the last 48 hours. So that really tells you that this video is getting active traffic more than a year after it was published. And that's really the definition of evergreen content. It solves a problem that doesn't expire, basically. All right, let's go into the reach tab. All right, I got 14.9 million views. That means YouTube has shown this thumbnail, this video's thumbnail, to people nearly 15 million times. And as you can see below, how it shows how viewers found this video. Mostly it's been through suggested videos, browse features, and the YouTube search. Okay, sorry. So now let's look at the click-through rate. I have a 5.4% click-through rate. And this one is kind of important to understand because the average click-through rate on YouTube sits between 2 and 5%. So anything above 5 is pretty strong. And what does a click-through rate actually mean? It means that out of every 100 times that YouTube showed my thumbnail for this video, 5.4 people clicked on it. And that may sound like, pretty small, but that's nearly 15 million impressions. And those 15 million impressions basically got converted into over 1 million views. Your thumbnail is important because, and I'm sure you've already heard this from every YouTube guru out there, but your thumbnail in the sleep and wellness niche needs to feel like an experience, like not something you're trying to sell. It needs to feel like immersive and calm or motivational. You want to make the viewers feel like they're already one step closer to the feeling that they are searching or looking for. And, clinical thumbnails or like thumbnails with too much text that are too busy, they can kill your click-through rate. So then another metric is unique viewers. This is kind of an interesting one. So I have like over 1.1 million views, but only 700,000 or almost 800,000 unique viewers. This means that on average, for every 10 people who watch my videos, 4 of them are returning to watch something else on my channel, or they're returning to watch that same video again and again. And I know that people are using my channel as their kind of like nightly sleep ritual. And it's been confirmed by the many comments that are left telling me that they listen to my channel almost every night. All right, let's go to the engagement tab. We already touched on the watch time hours, but to speak on it a little bit more, to the YouTube algorithm, it does seem like more watch time hours means more opportunities to place their ads and to sell whatever they're selling. So yeah, naturally more watch time directly correlates to more revenue. Another metric is the average view duration. Here's where I need to kind of stop and explain something, because this number can look very different depending on the context or the content, right? Most YouTubers would expect a higher view duration for a 5-hour video, but in the case of sleep content, this is actually what makes the sleep niche so attractive to content creators and why it's kind of like, I wouldn't say oversaturated, but why everyone chooses the sleep niche when they want to put as little effort as possible into the content creation side. If you make sleep content, you shouldn't evaluate your success by by the percentage that it was viewed. It should be evaluated by the absolute watch time per view. And 46 minutes average watch time per view on a sleep video is pretty damn good. Remember that what used to work within the sleep niche or sleep content, like rain sounds, singing bowls, solfeggio frequencies, does not work in 2026 and beyond. Why? Even before AI came down the pipeline, creators who attempted going this route of creating like low quality sleep content were still getting hit with those demonetization or reuse content warnings. So it was either they couldn't get monetized or they were demonetized after a few months. And today we're seeing channels get demonetized who have been monetized for years because their content no longer follows YouTube's new policies. So unless you were one of the first to create those channels, you're gonna have to find another creative way to still make that content, but with your own personal and unique twist. And I get more into how you can do that in a little bit. All right, so YouTube AdSense. First, I want to talk briefly about ad placements on your videos. So for anyone thinking of running a sleep or relaxation channel, this is so important because ad placement strategy for this kind of format is completely different from the standard YouTube videos that are out there. And getting this wrong can seriously damage your performance metrics. Here's the thing. If your channel is monetized, you can choose where to place ads on your video. And personally, if you're making content for sleep or relaxation, I recommend only placing one ad in the beginning of the video. You can get away with placing an ad at the very end or towards the end of the video. Keep in mind that YouTube doesn't really let you place ads at the very end of the video. I know when I'm watching videos, I see like ads pop up at the very end, but you can't place them yourself. That's what I've noticed. But you never want to place an ad in the middle of the video. I know it's obvious that you shouldn't. And you may even reconsider placing one towards the end, because if your content is designed to help your audience fall asleep and they wake up startled by, I don't know, let's say a very scary ad that I've been startled by in the middle of the night, then they're unlikely to subscribe or watch again because I think they feel a little disrespected. But if your channel is not monetized yet, unfortunately, you have no control over where YouTube places ads on your video. And you know, this is just one of those phases as a new YouTuber that you're just gonna have to get through. It's the biggest growing pain I think that you go through especially as a sleep channel. And it's the reason why many people quit. But if your content is high quality, you know, it's offering some value to your audience or to anyone, you can always offer them a free download link to the uninterrupted version of the audio, let's say. You can also use the pinned comment strategy where you let them know that you acknowledge that the ads are there, there's nothing you can do about it, so here, click my link. You can also add that as a disclaimer at the beginning of your video, just so they're aware. And yeah, unfortunately, there really isn't any other way around this. You can kind of think of this phase as your like auditioning or probation period that you just got to get through. I've been through it. Every sleep niche content creator has been through it. And yeah, you just have to keep it up, keep adapting to any changes, keep uploading high quality content, create engaging community posts, and respond to comments until you get monetized. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys the audience and gender breakdown. So let me show you that. So as you can see, 71% of this video's audience is female. That also aligns with my entire channel analytics. And you can see the age range is from 34 to 65 years old. Okay, so what can be said about that? So age 35 to 65 is like That's like 70, more than 70% of my total audience. And this is a mature audience. They're dealing with real ongoing sleep challenges, stress from careers at their peak, or maybe big life transitions, parenting responsibilities, perimenopause, caregiving. There's honestly so much. But this is an audience with a genuine recurring need for exactly this kind of content. And that kind of changes everything about how I approach creating content for this channel. This is one of the most highly sought after demographics for any niche and any market. These are people with reliable or like well-defined shopping habits and purchasing power. And speaking of which, if we go over to the top geographies, or where everyone's coming from watching my videos, United States, United Kingdom, Canada to Australia, yeah, we got India down there, but like for the most part, these advertisers are gonna look at this, and particularly advertisers in health, wellness, insurance, financial services, pharmaceuticals. They will pay premium rates to reach this kind of audience, especially English-speaking women from Western markets. All right, now let's go to revenue. And we got our video performance here. You can see that my RPM is $10 per 1,000 views for this video. So that's a pretty strong number. To give you some context, like gaming and entertainment channels, like video game channels, often see an RPM between like $1 to $5. So finance, business, like wellness channels, like I said, in an English-speaking demographic, $8 to $15 is pretty common. All right, guys, before we dive a little more into the strategies, the tips, and the frameworks of building a successful faceless YouTube channel in the sleep niche, or using AI tools to generate the content, I want to be clear and transparent about my successful faceless YouTube channel. And if you've noticed, I've chosen to keep it anonymous for now for several reasons. The reason I am keeping it secret is because there is a real thing such as keyword competition. But since a couple of my videos became a success, I have literally been copied by other content creators who have copied every little single thing about my channel. The SEO, the titles, the thumbnails, even down to taking my script and putting them into LLMs like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever, and trying to duplicate or replicate my script writing. And although those channels rarely last in the long run, it still affects the algorithm because we are basically sharing the same keywords, the same SEO. And I really think I've given a lot of free information away, especially in my masterclass tutorial series, and sharing my AI prompts, my workflows, the step-by-step process that allowed me to not only be successful on YouTube, but off this platform. And so yeah, if you're gonna be my competition in the same space, and I'm basically giving you the keys to my own success, then it's only fair I charge for that value. And it's taken me a while on this entrepreneurial journey to really get comfortable with pricing my work for what it's worth. So to show you that I am generous and not a complete gatekeeper, let me share with you why my hook in this video worked. Well, one, it solved an immediate pain point, sleep. And it answered several more pain points associated with being unable to sleep, like stress, anxiety, the need to heal on the emotional and mental level, inner work, shadow work, which eventually translate into physical relaxation and then eventually sleep. Two, another thing I did was I used techniques from hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, psychology, and this is a skill that I had to learn over time. I introduced the theme or the essence of the video in the first 30 seconds. I allowed my audience to feel seen, understood, and know what to expect from the video. And I did that with pacing, with the use of a soft and inviting, non-judgmental voice. And I built trust with my audience in the first 10 minutes so that they would stay for longer than 30. And let me reveal another tidbit of information. My channel has less than 50,000 subscribers. Yeah, that's right. And I'm making, let's see. Oops. As you can see here, I'm making roughly $1,000 to $2,000 a month, sometimes more, depending on how frequently I upload, but I'm doing so many things right now, so but basically, you know, I'm making a portion from my latest uploads, but an even larger amount from this one video and a handful of other videos that have been compounding over time. And I share this to remind you that it doesn't matter how many subs you have. People need to get that out of their heads. Because even if you have 5,000 subscribers, if even 1,000 of those subscribers watch your videos over and over again, heck, even if they don't subscribe, and if they're willing to click on a link that funnels them to a digital product of yours, that's all you really need to turn your channel into an entire income ecosystem. Because like I keep trying to tell people, AdSense revenue is not reliable. That's why it's very important to funnel your audience or your clients to an offline platform space where you can collect their emails, or they can catch up with what you are doing, even if, let's say, your YouTube channel was demonetized, or even worse, terminated. Hopefully not though. But yeah, it could happen. Okay, now I want to talk about something that is directly related to why I even created this channel. Because here's a question I get asked the most when people see these analytics. They're like, did you use AI to build this? And yeah, the honest answer is yes. AI helped me to create the graphics, the animations. It helped me brainstorm my scripts. It helped me synthesize and consolidate information from the literature and the research and the books I've read, the podcasts I've listened to that I find interesting or that relate to this topic. And it helped me do that faster than it would have in the past. I'm able to take that synthesized or consolidated information that's organized in a way that now I can turn into content that is digestible for my audience. So for some transparency, I still use my real voice in over 80% of the content I create because I mean, I was a voiceover artist for many years, so why not, right? I also use the professional voice clones that I created on 11 Labs using my hours and hours of my own voice to help me with about 20% of my content. And honestly, the reason why I think I won't get demonetized ever is because every single one of my videos is based on a unique script that I have written. Yes, I may have used AI to help me brainstorm and organize and articulate my thoughts, but it's all coming from here, from me, from my creative abilities, from my interests, from my clinical and lived experience. My scripts, they follow maybe the same framework, the same structure. Each technique that I incorporate into the script is different. And here's another thing. I don't upload 3 videos a week, and I know that's what some YouTube gurus say that you should do, but I don't know. All I know is that the algorithm knows that I am not mass producing content. When someone uploads or keeps creating the same repetitive content over and over again, just changing around the keywords, the algorithm or the AI that reviews people's content and people's channels is going to notice that. So, you know, the crackdown is real, guys. The YouTube partnership program now explicitly address AI generated content. They require meaningful, human-centered, creative contribution. So if they aren't getting demonetized, AI content creators are seeing their RPM go down. And it's kind of funny because the channels that were made to somehow game the system are the ones that are being most affected by these new policies. There's a fundamental difference between AI as a replacement for human thought and using AI as a tool that amplifies human thought. AI can generate audio, voiceover elements, music, but you direct the emotional intention of the content. You decide what feeling you want to create in the listener. You make the creative choices that align with your specific audience's needs and not just mimicking what other channels are already doing. Remember, this has been an issue for content creators long before AI came into the picture. I know because I helped those creators when I was freelancing. Those were the services I offered them so that they could create high-value transformative content that would be accepted by the YouTube Partnership Program. If you are using an AI voice clone, make sure that if your content is for sleep, you're using a voice that is appropriate for sleep. There are voice clones out there that sound so realistic you really cannot tell the difference. I know this because my own voice clones that I've created on 11 Labs and that I've created products or audios from, my clients have said that they can't tell the difference. So if you're gonna use an AI voice clone, make sure that it sounds like a real human. And if you can't find one, you can hire a real voiceover artist on freelance platforms like Fiverr or Upwork. Another risk factor is low community engagement. If your channel has no comments, or you're not really responding to comments, or you pay for bots to subscribe to your channel or to comment on your videos, the algorithm or the AI automated review system can easily flag this, especially for a faceless YouTube channel. You should already be on high alert. And of course, this is what I'm always trying to teach in my masterclass series. High value, transformative content always wins. Content that genuinely helps someone, that solves a real problem in their lives, that delivers a real experience that they were looking for. And yeah, that is what I believe the future of content creation is. Not AI versus humans, not fully automated versus fully manual. It's human-centered AI creation. And that is basically what my main intention for this channel is, being a voice for AI content creation done the right way. The right way can always be a bit flawed, right? Especially if the owners or gatekeepers of this technology use it against us, right? But either way, it's coming. You know what? It's already here. So why not use these tools for the betterment of humanity? Solve a pain point, offer a solution through your content. Anyways, if you found this breakdown of my analytics useful or valuable, please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're really serious about building a YouTube channel, a faceless YouTube channel, earning online income, creating content, and creating income based on your passions, your skills, and your interests, you can go ahead and check out the other videos on this channel if you haven't already. You can follow along with my masterclass tutorial videos with your own projects that you're working on. And if you're really, really serious and kind of just want all the answers and you don't really want to spend too much time with the trial and error side of things, you can check out my free prompt guides and also the full workflows that I am offering on Gumroad. And yeah, hopefully the resources that I offer here are of value to you on your own content creation journey. All right, I hope that wasn't too long. Probably gonna have to do lots of edits because I ramble a lot, but I will see you guys in the next one.